All right, everybody, welcome back to the Dirt Beers podcast. This is episode 31 and the start of season 2. Been gone for a while, but things are looking a little different around here. Just had a lot of stuff going on, but we're pushing forward with the Dirt Beers podcast here, moving in a different direction. Obviously, the person beside me here doesn't look like the person that was here before. Jonathan we have parted ways on the podcast, mutual agreement. I want to just thank Jonathan quick too for everything that he did for the Dirt Beers podcast and helping me get going. But we're bringing in somebody new, and that new person is Shawn Winger. Shawn, before we get going, we're gonna do what we always do here on this podcast and crack a beer. So
cheers to that, pal.
Cheers to that, buddy. So I've known Shawn for a couple years now. We've been becoming good buddies. So I thought he's a race fan and he loves talking racing. He's a perfect guy to bring on. But Shawn, want to introduce yourself to the crowd here and let everybody know about you a little bit.
All right. Hey gang. I am, my name's Shawn Winger. I'm from Fort Erie. Been into racing almost my whole life. Grew up watching the modifieds at Merrittville and Humberstone. Sad to say Humberstone's no longer around anymore. Then I'm getting back into the sprints a little bit at Oshwegan, following those guys around, getting to meet some of those guys and become good buddies with a lot of those guys at Schwiegs, Ryan Turner, Ashton, Van Avery, a bunch of those guys, really good dudes. I really want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on this. I remember when you messaged me that you wanted to start an Instagram page called Dirt Beers, because I used to post my Almost Friday stuff every Thursday, and you wanted to kind of do the, Mom, what are you doing?
Hi.
This is Shawn's mom, everybody.
And this is my mom. Brutal.
Yeah, so actually, technically Dirt Beers all started between a message that I sent to you about, hey, I think I'm going to do this. And you're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just gone from there. So you're the perfect person to be on the podcast.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It's an honor to be on it.
So like you were saying, you grew up big modified guy, watching modifieds, now it's getting really heavily into the sprint car stuff. Obviously, we both follow the national tour stuff. What I want to talk about here too is that going forward with the podcast, we are going to be very more heavily based, I guess, or talk about more about the sprint car national stuff and the big block modifieds. Nothing against the late model guys or the UMP mod guys, just it ain't really our forte. We don't really see a lot of it. So we want to talk about stuff that we see a lot and have a little bit more knowledge on and are a little more in tune with. So going forward, it's going to be a lot more sprint car and big block modified talk, which I'm excited about.
Absolutely. Same here. Yeah. Little back to the grassroots kind of stuff.
Yeah,
for me.
Exactly. So with that being said, it's been a while since we've done a podcast. Obviously, I've got a different, obviously the background I got going on here is not the room I'm in, but I've purchased with my fiance our own house. So I've been moving for the last little bit, getting settled in. So that's kind of why we put a halt to everything that was going on, but we're back in action now. But I want to start at the beginning of the season, Shawn, and we're going to break down Dirt Car Nationals in Florida a little bit, talk a little bit about what happened. We're not going to spend too much time on it, but just give our general thoughts on what's going on. But we'll start with the sprint cars. And I can't say that it's surprising, but it's definitely a little bit that PA Posse guy and Anthony Macri goes down and takes a big gator from the Outlaw guys.
Yeah, he's awesome. Anytime he decides to come around with the big boys at any series, if he even runs high limit, he just puts on a good show. I feel like he's finishing podium, maybe top 4, or even winning a lot of races that he decides to, wherever he decides to join with the tour. It's really impressive. He's one hell of a driver.
Yeah. Anthony's one of those guys, one of the PA Posse guys, just like a Danny Dietrich or some other guys that can go to a national tour race and contend for wins, take it to the David Gravels and the Buddy Kofoids and the Carson Macedos, and be right on track with them guys and not be a step behind at all. So I know I don't have it on the sheet, but there's also another interesting thing talking about the PA Posse. They've started a PA Posse tour in PA now for these 410 guys.
Yep,
All the tracks are kind of combining on it. It's a little series that they're doing. I want to know your thoughts, but I'll give my thoughts on it first. I think that there's a good and a bad to this for the PA Posse. The good part is obviously they get to stay close to home, race their local tracks, and there's a point fund at the end. But I think some of these guys need to take their talents on the road and leave PA. I know it's not a popular opinion. Everybody loves
yep,
the front porch thing, but go race the tour. Like, I
yep,
mean, I obviously there's a lot of things behind that, and as far as sponsorship, money, time, people can't always be doing tour stuff. But there's a guy like Anthony Macri, even a Dane Dietrich. I don't see why they can't go run a tour.
for sure. I agree. I don't see why they couldn't. I think they've got good enough backing sponsorship wise to be able to do stuff like that, and they show really well whenever they do come run with the Outlaws, especially when the
Mhm.
Outlaws come to PA, right? When they
Yeah,
because when I went to the Grove there in the fall, and I think Chase Dietz won on Friday night, held off
yeah,
all the big boys, and then Saturday night Sheldon won, but I think it was Danny was had the lead for most of the race, and then
yeah.
Sheldon kind of came in late and took it away from him. But yeah, they show well anytime they run. I
Hmm.
think it's kind of cool, but it's also some of these guys might need that exposure to
Yeah,
maybe if they want to get in a big outlaw ride or a high limit ride that they need that they're not really might get the big exposure early on, but maybe who knows, this
yeah,
PA stuff could really take off, and that could be a
yeah,
third series. Who knows? You never know.
yeah. I think I look at it more like obviously you have your regional tours for the weekend warrior guys and those guys that want to just stay around like this PA Posse tour is, but I think it also could be a good stepping stone for these guys to run this tour, which is I believe it's 30 races or something like that.
Yep,
But run this 30 race tour, maybe for a year or two, and that builds up their confidence, builds up their program to be able to maybe make that jump to a national
yep,
tour.
I agree. Yep,
Yeah,
and maybe who knows? Maybe get a little extra money in their pocket
exactly.
after
Yeah,
winning a couple
I think
races,
it's
especially if you're
a
Macri or
yeah, I think it's $50,000 point fund for the end of the year or something like that. But so it's not nothing to like shake a stick at. Like
yeah, for
it's a
sure,
good amount of
absolutely.
money.
Yep,
But yeah, I think it could hurt some guys, but it could also maybe propel some guys to get to the national
yep,
tour.
absolutely. I couldn't agree
Yeah,
more.
yeah. Uh, well, getting back to the nationals there, but coming out of Dirt Car Nationals, it's always talked about that you don't want to be in a hole coming out of Dirt Car Nationals in the points. The last couple of years we've seen David Gravel come out ahead of everybody else by a
Clean
good
sweep
amount
in
of
the
points.
weekend, maybe, or clean whatever 5 races or 6 races they run down there in the month of February. Sometimes he clean sweeps it, and he's got
Yeah,
a bajillion point lead, and it's just kind of you're just chasing him all year. But
yeah.
this year
So
was a little different.
it was a little different. So this year, David and Buddy come out in a tie out of Dirt Car Nationals. Now I know some things have happened since then. It's been a while, but I think that was obviously a good sign for the 83 card to come out tied with David, the reigning champion, and
Hmm.
not be in that deficit going into the start of the season.
Yeah, he was huge for Buddy for especially having a DNF the one night when stuff
Hmm.
he's having motor issues. I can't remember what it was, but to get a DNF and Gravel probably podiumed like he usually does.
Yeah.
Always runs steady. That's
Yeah.
kind of his thing. And I was like, maybe he won't win a race all year. And then he rips off 3 straight almost after he gets out of Florida. So
Yeah.
there goes that shot. But
Yeah.
the points is really nice right now. My man Carson Macedo is right up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
That's okay
I
too.
think
I want to lay that out too. Let's lay it out. Who is your guy on both tours? Well, let's all three tours because we're gonna talk about High Limit, World Outlaws, and Super Dirt Car Series.
like, I
Who's
think
your guys?
I think Carson's got to be my guy. I know I got a truck racing cap on here, but Carson's was just anytime I had the chance to meet him was really just class, and that's how you make fans, right? And he
Yeah.
always runs good, but he's also not always winning. So I'm not bandwagoning by jumping on the gravel train or even the buddy
Yeah.
train, right? Cedo's kind of always isn't the bride or the groom. He's always the bridesmaid kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? He's always just there. So it's nice when he runs well. The high limit, it's tough because I was a Geo guy when he was in with the Outlaws, so I really like that look of that car, the '77 Chili's
Yeah.
ride. That's really really sweet. So I think I got to be a Geo guy on the
Geo
high
guy.
limit, and then it's kind of I always like the underdog story too, like Ryan Timms
Yeah.
whenever he runs, man,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
or whatever
Ryan.
series he decides to run with is getting a young stud that whenever he decides
Yeah.
to hop on the full thing, it'll be good for him. So
100%.
I might even jump on his train and be his fanboy.
Yeah. I remember when we interviewed him. It was literally, I don't know, a month, maybe a month and a half before the Knoxville Nationals, and he goes out and wins. I was like, holy fuck! Like he was talking in the interview. He's just trying to get the experience, get the laps in,
Yep.
work with this team, build it up so that eventually one day he can go full time racing on a tour. And I know he was saying like they were just making the trip to Knoxville, racing weekly. They were going to Huset's, racing weekly. So it's obviously paying off, and couldn't be more of a nicer guy when we talked to him. So yeah, Ryan's definitely on a heater right now. But
For sure. Yeah,
so
he's
who?
ran good almost any tour he's been with. It's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah, it's crazy. The consistency is crazy. So who's your big block modified guy?
Money Matt, it's local
Mm,
guy. They say St. Catharines, but Ridgeway. He grew up in Ridgeway.
Ridgeway.
So Mighty Mouse, Mighty Matt, back in his Merrittville days.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's and then Light and Larry's always good.
yeah,
Love watching Stu, especially after what happened.
yeah, yeah,
We'll touch on that in a little bit, but yeah, Stu, another local guy,
yeah,
made it big. I work with his cousin at
yeah, yeah, yeah,
at GM. So yeah, it's really it's I love the modifieds, big blocks, anything really.
yeah,
Just so I can't really say I'm a homer for anybody, but if it's got to be one, I'll be Matt for sure.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since everybody's heard my favorites, but I'll just go
Yeah,
over
let's
them a
hear him.
little
Let's do it.
bit.
Let's rip
I'll
him
just
off.
go over
Yeah.
it a little bit again. Will Outlaws, I've always been Buddy Kofoid fan. I've always loved Buddy. He's always run good. I've always liked the Roth cars, the way
Yep.
they look.
So sharp.
So
Always sharp looking.
yeah, yeah. So Buddy's definitely my guy on the World Outlaws. High Limit. This is a very unpopular opinion, but Rico is my guy, especially now. I've been a lifelong Tony Stewart fan, and so this has just made it even better. So Rico is my guy on the high limit. And big blocks, I guess we're batting the same because everybody's going to be all over me. But for everybody that knows, I crewed for Matt for a lot of years, so I can't not say that Matt's my
Yep.
favorite guy on the Super Dirt Car Series. And yeah, definitely interested to see how the season goes for those guys. I know they've had a couple rainouts already, so we'll see what
Yep.
happens. But so let's
I
get
feel like
let's actually get
I feel
in.
like they're itching to get back into it because they've
Yeah,
been off since really February for the most
yeah,
part,
pretty
right? They've been
much.
rained out almost any other
I
time
think
they've tried to
I
fire
yeah,
them up.
I think they raced one time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so speaking of the modifieds, let's get into the Dirt Car National modified side of things. Obviously, Matt gets out to a hot start down in Florida, which he seems to always do.
Yep.
He seems to really love it. Every time I went with him down there, it was always a good time. Car was
Yep.
running good. He was running good. What's your opinion on that? Obviously, it's good to see.
Oh, it's you can't he won't be denied. It's kind of thing. You just kind of no matter where he starts, he could start 20th, and you kind of just you're always watching the ticker. Where's
Yeah,
he? Oh, he's up 5 spots. Oh, 6 spots. Oh, then you blink and there's 5 laps left, and he's in third place, battling for a
yeah,
win with whoever's leading. Right?
yeah, yeah,
It's crazy. It's crazy how good he is,
yeah.
and on a night in night out basis. Right? He's always got good equipment. He always takes care of his stuff, right? Doesn't break,
Hmm.
doesn't tear it up all the time, right? He's aggressive, but he's also smart
Yeah,
aggressive. So he's not like just throwing in, sliding in the corner, not caring if he's clear, and just will wreck some guy, right? Just
yeah,
he might wreck you to get the win, but
yeah.
that's about it.
He's a smart driver. He always has been. I mean, it was a spectacle again, but it's always a spectacle. The night L just decides to rip the fence down every time he goes on the
Yeah,
racetrack.
the Larry
So
Lane, man, the Larry
yeah,
Lane.
oh my god. But he made it work. That's the thing. Like Larry can make the top work even when nobody else can. and he just
Yep.
commits to it, and
Yep.
it's crazy to see. Larry's one of those guys, you know, obviously he's raced a lot of different race cars, and
Yep.
I think he takes that, you know, a little bit of that sprint car mentality and puts it in the modified, and
Yep.
just puts it up there and lets it go.
Yep. Yeah, he's always got it cocked on three wheels, and he's just
Yeah,
letting it eat on the berm and on the cushion. Even if it's not even working, he'd probably rather lose 10 spots than go to the bottom, right? And just and
100%.
before you kind of blink, and then maybe most time he might be right there, or he
Yeah,
just burns the top line out and
yeah,
rips the right rear off, and that's just. But hey, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Just letting the
yeah.
horsepower eat.
Oh my god, and that's the best, like, best, not the best show, but like a good part of the show for the fans is just have a guy like that that goes out there and races like that, because
Yep.
it is entertaining. People love to
Yep.
watch it.
For sure he does. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's I know I love watching it.
yeah.
Whenever I see the Nell out there, and he just maybe starting the bottom, he'll find his way
There
up
he is
there,
again. There he is
and
again.
you see him, he'll just three wheels, wheeling it around there.
Yeah,
He's something else. He's something
he
else. Really
is.
cool guy too.
Yeah, great guy to talk to. Obviously, Stu, back from his wreck last year at the end of the season, seems to be doing pretty good. He's racing, still running good. He's going good in the trucks. Yeah, it was just a scary incident to see. So, like, there's a lot of people blame the track for having that walnut covered. Then there's people saying, "Well, why did the car rip apart like that? What, like, or like, what's going on with that?" I mean, I can attest, I worked at Bicknell Racing Products for a long time. There's no lack of quality or safety or anything that goes into those cars. Randy and everybody there puts it at the top priority, and they learn from things like this. You know,
Yep.
Randy not loves to see, but inspects these cars after accidents like this to be able to
Yep.
improve, to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. And it all also just comes down to circumstance and the way things happened. Obviously, it's scary. You never want to see anybody it happen to anybody, but you know, it's good to see Stu recover and be able to get back into a race car.
I couldn't say it better myself. I was watching on Dirt Vision, and it I saw him get sideways and then go up over on the wall, and then came down and bang, and it was you could hear a pin drop at that track, and
Yeah.
it took it the safety crews, hats off to the safety crews, man. They took their time with him to get him out and make sure he was
Mhm.
safe. And what we're 7, maybe not even 8 months removed from his wreck,
Yeah.
and he wins the opening night down in Volusia in the
Yeah.
same car he almost died in.
Yeah.
It's crazy. What more can you say? That he's just so good, man.
Yeah.
It's and that was it was such a I wanted to throw up when I saw it, because I
I
thought the
know.
worst. I thought the worst. They weren't saying anything on Dirt Vision. It I it was crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just a crazy incident, and you know, you never want to see something tragic happen like
No.
that. But we're gonna touch on obviously there was a tragic accident on the World Outlaw Sprint Car side at Cannondale Speedway. Billy Hurt, a longtime safety guy for many series, ASCS. He did Chili Bowl, Shootout. He was all over the place, and a lot of people always talked highly of Billy, from what I've
Yep.
gathered online and just hearing interviews and stuff. So we wanna pay our respects to Billy, you know, and just a tragic accident and something that you hate to see.
Yeah, it's that you never go to the track expect to see something like that happen, let alone with a driver, or
Mhm.
and then especially with the safety crews going to the wreck, right? Just awful. It's
Yeah.
nothing else you can say. Just awful and
Yeah.
extremely sad. And we have prayers to Billy's family and friends and anybody had the privilege to know him. Um, and same with the other safety member,
Yeah.
Jerry
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
He's seems like I've read online, he's stable and recovering, and hopefully we get to see him back at the track at some time, doing
Mhm.
what he likes to do.
So obviously there was never a video that came out or even any pictures that I've seen of the incident that happened, but
Yeah.
from what I've gathered, it was a head-on collision between a UTV and an ATV, which I'm not sure who was on what, but I'm gonna say I would believe that Billy was on the ATV that didn't have a cage, and they collided head on going to the crash scene. I got jotted down here what we can have a discussion on what we think maybe could help prevent something like this from happening again. I've traveled around to a lot of racetracks, and there are some racetracks where the safety crew is not up to par, and
Yep.
they're not doing things in the proper way. And obviously, at the highest level this can happen. So what could happen at a track where it's just a volunteer or what
Yep.
or anything like that? From my perspective, me seeing different safety crews, there's a lot of quads and ATVs and stuff that are just buzzing around when an accident happens. They're flying. I
Yep.
know at the safety crew that their main goal is to get to the crash site as fast as they can,
Yep.
but we also got to make sure that this kind of stuff isn't happening where safety crews are colliding with each other.
Yep.
Um, I don't know what the fix or the answer would be.
Yep.
Uh, I think it's just more people just need to be more spatially aware, I guess,
Yep.
maybe.
Just being careful too,
No,
right?
yeah, think about what you're doing. Maybe just, I mean, there's a lot of adrenaline and everything's running. Obviously, but
Yep.
I've never been a safety person or going to a scene like that, so I can't tell you what it feels like or what's going through your body. But it just, I would hate to see this happen again. I think maybe there needs to be a system or something put in place so that we don't see it again.
Yeah, it's like just with like the stew thing, right? When his big
Hmm.
wreck, everybody was there in an instant, which is
Hmm.
it's awesome that they're that reactive because you need that, right? Because you never know what distress the driver's in.
Yeah.
But there's got to be something that you just take. You hate to rag on these guys because it's a
Hmm.
thankless job most of the nights, right? Sometimes you hope you never have to be used, right? You might just
Yeah.
sit there in the infield and you're eating dirt all night and just sitting there. But I don't know if you just got to. I don't know if you just take just 2 seconds to
Yeah.
look around before you hop on the throttle
Yeah.
and go to the wreck because that's I don't. What else can you do? Because you can't like have specific crews because it depends on where the
Yeah.
wreck is in the track and stuff like that. It's
Mhm.
just an unfortunate situation. I think that's accidents happen anywhere.
Yeah.
But I think just the big thing you can take is just take 2 seconds just to make sure to give the old shoulder check and
Yeah.
maybe more lights. I don't know, like they got lights
Yeah.
on these outlaw stuff lit up
Yeah.
like Christmas trees, but I don't know, maybe a little bit more lights or maybe only UTVs, not having guys on open wheel stuff like that
Yeah.
because you can when stuff like that does happen,
Yeah.
there's no protection kind of thing, right? So
Yeah. Because
it's
you
just it's a slippery slope you get into trying
yeah.
to blame or try to figure out what the right way to do it is, right?
Yeah.
Because you come some local tracks, like you're saying, you got guys just volunteers who are rolling up in their truck kind of thing, and they've
Yeah.
got some medical background. That's why they kind of just volunteer, which is we need those people, right?
Mhm.
Men and women, no matter who it is, you gotta because you need that stuff, but
Yeah.
it's not sometimes not up to snuff if something serious happens, right? There's no ambulance on site for local stuff most of the time, or it's like what's the local stuff here? I think St. John's ambulance is at a lot of the races stuff, but
Yeah.
they're just part time emergency medical responders,
Yeah.
right? They're not paramedics, they're not firefighters, kind of thing. They have a medical background, but
Yeah.
it's tough. It's another way to really slice it.
Yeah, I know, and I want to give props to Dirt Car and Super Dirt Car series and a couple of the regional sprint car series here in the Northeast. I know they do, and it just happened a couple weeks ago. They have a big, I don't know what you call it, meeting, I guess, or training exercise in Syracuse, where they go over, they have a seminar, go over all these new things, and they do some live extractions and things like that. How to get drivers out of cars, how to put fires out with methanol, how to put fires out with
Yep.
race gas, all this kind of stuff. So I want to give them a shout out because I know that
Yeah.
the guys actually from Maryville Race Med, they went down
Yep.
there for this training session, which is awesome to see. But yeah, I just want to give them props for that because
For sure.
I think that kind of needs to be a thing that happens, like, in maybe a mandatory thing almost. Like, if there's a sanctioning body coming to the track, they need to make sure that the safety crew that is going to be responding to these accidents is trained and
Yep.
knows how to, if somebody needs to get cut out of a car, like how they're going to have to go about that.
Especially if they don't have those tools on hand. So I don't know
Yeah.
what some certain tracks have and what they don't have. But
Hmm.
if you got to cut a driver out,
Yeah.
like, and it's a life or death situation,
Situation.
do you
Yeah.
gotta do you gotta wait for the fire department to show up? Do you gotta, like, is there, you just using pry bars and stuff like that? I don't know. It's but I do like that there's training courses that guys can go to. I think that should be one way to kind of start this
Hmm.
extra training movement kind of deal, right? Where guys can, and girls can learn proper ways of extricating drivers out and all that good stuff. Not good stuff, but stuff that you need to learn,
Yeah.
because
Stuff you
almost
need to
every
know.
accident's different, right? Accidents are
Yeah.
different. One week it's one, and maybe week it's completely different. You got to be able to adapt to those different situations.
For sure. So we're gonna move on now to we're gonna take a look at the points and stuff. While I'm getting this stuff up though, I want to say that, obviously everything here is new. So if something doesn't look great or you got opinions on what we're doing here, or you think something we can do better, let us know obviously in the comments or
Yep.
anywhere else. Get a hold of us. Sean, if you want, you can plug your Instagram if you want. Where can people find you?
On Instagram, I think it's, I mean, look, I think it's Shawn Winger 24 on the Instagram. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Shawn Winger 24 on the Instagram. Um, I'm wearing my Bills overalls in my picture. Send me
Yeah,
a follow if you like. I don't post much these days, but um, I'm worth a follow. Sometimes I
uh,
post some funny stuff on my
yeah,
story,
yeah.
but
It's uh what I was speaking of the Bills and stuff, we're gonna, this podcast obviously is a dirt racing podcast, but throughout the year and stuff, we'll talk a little bit of hockey, talk a little bit of football, stuff like that. It's not always gonna be dirt racing. You gotta break it up a little bit, but
for sure.
um, we'll start here with the World Outlaws. Take a look at what's going on here. Obviously, we got David Gravel, the controversial apple eater that we're gonna look at later, at the top of the board with your boy Carson in second, Sheldon in third. If you told me with everything that happened with Sheldon, with obviously getting leaving Stenhouse Jr., going over to KPC racing in the 18
Yep.
car, after how many 11 races we got now,
Yep.
for Sheldon to be in
Over about
third,
that, yeah.
I don't think I would have called that.
No, I definitely wouldn't. If it, hand up, I thought Spencer Baston would be running up there. After
Yeah.
his leadoff win there, the first night, I was like, oh, first of all, that car's extremely sharp. I love the look of that
Mm-hmm.
car. That
Mm-hmm.
just gives me the Richard Petty vibes, the STP car with
Yeah.
that baby blue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought, oh, we are it's Baston's time, but he's just struggled to find speed and run well in features, which I hope he can turn it around, because
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't like uh, the new guy to be able to have a good showing,
Yeah.
especially a not sponsored car. I'm
Yeah.
sure they want to see him run a little bit better, but
Yeah. I agree. I after that first night when I saw him get that win, I was like, okay, this could maybe this is what they've been looking for. This could be a
yeah,
deadly combination. But obviously he's fallen off as of right now. He's down in 11th in points right now, 200 back of David. Um, Donnie. Let's talk about Donnie. All the drama. TSR. Tony says you're done.
Yep.
Okay, now he's scrambling, finishes the year in multiple different rides last year,
Yep.
then lands at CJB Motorsports. They put together obviously they don't have shit equipment. They got good stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Donnie's going out and right now he's sitting fifth in points. I think if you told me that Donnie was fifth in points right now, with a win, I would be like, if you asked me this at the beginning of the season before Volusia, but he's been good. Like he's been consistent in this car.
For
I
sure.
think he,
Yeah.
I think it's a good fit for him.
Hmm.
He seems to be getting comfortable. So,
Yep.
obviously the win helps. Love to see that Donnie got a win. Uh, but yeah, what are your thoughts? How far up or how far down does Donnie go by the end of the season?
I think he's up there to stay. I personally think
Yeah.
that 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 ride they put together for him is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great fit. Um, I if you'd have told me at the start of the year that Donnie's gonna be fifth in points, I would probably tell you, did everybody else maybe crash like every night, because like he just did not run like the last almost 2 years with TSR did not run very well
Mm-hmm.
at all, especially even at the end of the year, just kind of bouncing around different rides. Um, just did, but hats off to him, man. He's turned back the clock. He looks like he did 8, 10 years ago, man. He's
Yeah.
he's fast. He's fighting for wins. He's got a win early, which is really nice
Mm-hmm.
to see. Um, yeah, what's he? How many? What he's got for top tens there?
He's got 4 top 10s right now.
Four
Four
top ten. Yeah,
top tens, but nine top tens, 4 top 5s
like what can you? That's
out of 11
consistency, man.
races.
That's kind of only 1, 2 races he hasn't finished in the top 10.
Yeah.
I think the one night was the Volusia night. I think that was the same night Buddy broke, but they both
Yeah.
broke. But that night Donnie was flying. I think he had quick time and in qualifying, and he looked really good, and then he broke. I think he might have blew up, I think,
Yeah.
um but that's really, really, really impressive for him, and I hope he can keep stringing it together, because it's great to see, honestly. You're always pulling for him, right? I'm glad he got
Yeah.
it kind of sorted out and
Always.
landed with CJB, filled in the second car and in the opposing series, which is quite interesting.
Yeah. 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 We can talk about that.
But
How about, yeah,
yeah,
CJB having two different teams, each on different, it's kind of like what Shark Racing did
yep.
when it was Jacob and Logan. Um, you know, I think it, it, as far as what I've heard is Donnie is trying to help the second team as well. Like is
Hmm.
trying to help get them going. And does it work out? Who knows? But
Who knows?
as of right now, obviously Donnie's pretty strong. So if he can give information to help
For
them
sure.
guys,
Yeah. Yeah,
I think it's a
It's
no-brainer.
clearly working. It's working for him. Clearly,
Yeah.
he's got it figured out. It's worked. It's working for him. I don't think it's Brendan Crouch is running all that hot right now, but
Yeah.
things can turn around. It's early in the year. Um, but who knows? But it's really good to see Donnie be able
Hmm.
to run like that, and fifth in points is really impressive.
Hmm. So obviously, I mean, we got to talk about David's leading. He's got 3 wins. Do you think that one of these guys, let's say Logan's sixth. Okay, let's say out of the top 6, do you think one of these guys is going to be able to take it to David this year?
Uh, the 1S looked really good last year early on, and I think he kind of faded a little bit. I don't know what went on there. Maybe he struggled to find speed in certain spots, but I think I think Buddy's gonna rip off some more wins here soon enough. It's only a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I think if Carson can, he's what how many points down? He's only 48 points down.
Yeah.
I think when we were in Florida, he had a runner up in 3/3. So what more
Can you
can you
get?
ask
Yeah.
for? Maybe a
Yeah.
win, but
Yeah.
He won what, 2 was it, 2 races ago, I think he picked up the win.
Yep, yep,
So it'll be interesting to see. I I love a good points battle. I just hope it's comes down to the last couple races where the last couple ones mean
yeah.
mean a little
I
bit,
mean,
right?
yeah,
Where it's
yeah. I'd like to, you know, you never. I mean, it's been like that the last couple of years, but you never really want to see a walk away, you know, or
yeah,
we there's by the time they start World Finals or just for World Finals, we already know that David's gonna win. Like
yeah,
you want to see it come down to those World Final races to see the champion get crowned. But you know, we're just kind of like we keep an eye on it. Obviously, we're gonna talk about it all season long. Another guy that you know is quiet right now actually has as far as I know, I heard on uh another podcast, Dirt Tracker. Shout out to Dirt Tracker. But Bill Baylog has the most laps led out of any World LS sprint car driver this season, and he's right now he's in 10th in points. Now we know
yeah,
Bill can get on a hot streak and rack up a couple wins in a season. It just he never seems to be able to put it enough together to get up there and battle for that top 5 in points.
yeah. I think early this year, I think he really struggled. He struggled in Florida big time
Hmm.
to find speed down there. But yeah, another another guy I like to pull for. Baylog
Yeah,
is another good guy to cheer for. Um, but yeah, if he can just string together a couple wins and hope some of the other guys struggle a little bit, maybe he can have a run at it. But I think maybe this early in the year might have already kind of made things tough for him
yeah,
with not running very well at all early on,
yeah,
which
yeah,
sucks because you hate to see that. But
yeah. Okay, let's we'll move over to high limit now. See what's going on their points here. I know we have a I guess maybe not a surprise, but surprise to some to see the 88 at the top.
yeah, he looked really good at the end of the year last year. Like was fighting for wins and
Mhm.
a bunch of top fives. I think he might even had a win or two at the end. I don't have it in front of me, but he just carried over to this year fast, being able to keep up. That's saying a lot. You gotta if you're gonna win the points, you gotta be able to have your wins, but you gotta minimize the not wins
Yeah.
as top fives. You want the top fives, you want the top tens. You don't want your DNFs. You don't want to be finishing 23rd. Like
Yeah.
that's I don't. I'd maybe count on two hands the nights that or one hand that gravel didn't run well
Was
last year.
yeah.
Like so that's what you need, right? You need
Mhm.
to build a consistency. Like Rico touched on it when he's in Victory Lane. The one he's like, want to turn the 12ths into 10ths and the 8ths into
Mhm.
5s and just be able to run consistency. Is the name of the game in these tours, right? 'Cause it's a
Yeah.
it's not a sprint, right? It's an endurance race for all these
Yep.
guys.
Yep. Yeah. You know, Tanner's kind of out there on his own a little bit in the as far as the setup that he's running. You know, he doesn't run a traditional torsion bar sprint car. He runs coilovers, so
Yeah,
that puts him
old
on
school,
an island. Yeah,
old
puts him on
school.
an island right away. You know,
Yep,
having to figure out all these different tracks with a completely different setup than all of his competitors.
yep,
Um, so you know, hats off to him to being able to get that figured out. You know, he doesn't have one of these big money crew chiefs
yep,
or anything like that. He's making a lot of the calls on this car, and obviously, it what he's gained in knowledge over the last couple of years of running high limit at these tracks is helping him now, and he's building his notebook, and he's able to make sure that he's faster at more of the tracks than less of the
yep,
tracks. So, you know, good to see. Obviously, Aaron Reitzel before his injury at Eldora last year was hot. The guy was unstoppable.
yep,
Comes back from the injury and he's really about the same. Even when he was racing
yep,
with a broken foot, he was about the same. So,
yep,
you know, he's another guy that doesn't have a big name crew chief really. He's his crew chief most of the time. He's making the calls, he's making the adjustments.
yep,
So, um, you know, it's good to see the 87 up there, especially after the year that he had last year with, at the beginning in Las Vegas getting a rock through the shield on his helmet, and then the big
Crazy.
wreck at Eldora breaking his foot.
Yep. Yep.
It's just it's good to see that. Your current reigning points champion Rico Abreu sitting in third,
Yep.
60 back from Tanner. One win, I think it's going to be a lot of not a long time, but it's going to take a little bit of time to get it all figured out. Even though it's the same team, it's just technically rebranded Tony Stewart Racing,
Yep.
different sponsors, that kind of stuff. I think it's still a ton of pressure. Like he's trying to defend the title. He's at a new
Yep.
spot. But I mean, they have a win. They're doing good. It actually he's ahead of where he was last year. He at this point did not have a win. So really you could say they're a little bit ahead of schedule almost. So we'll see as the season goes on if Rico can get heated up here. But your boy here sitting next on the points sheet, Gio in fourth with a brand new
Yep.
team. What are you thinking about Gio?
That's that new race team, man. It's you're always feeling each other out. It's always trial and error. It's kind of just new stuff, right? Especially Gio didn't really run much with the high limits. He hopped into Sunshine's car after he got hurt, and he learned a little bit there. But most of these tracks, I don't think he's really run all that much,
No, I
especially
don't.
the high limit stuff, because a lot of these guys are just it's new tracks for a lot of these guys. So he's able to kind of figure it out. So that's kind of how you know the guy can wheel it no matter what he's put in. Like he looked good in the
Mhm.
KCP, and then they parted ways, and then he looked good in the NOS car, and now he's looking good in his Spire 77. So it's really good to see. I hope maybe he can rip off a couple wins here and maybe challenge for a points championship would be really nice to see, especially in the
Yeah.
first year of the program. It's
Yeah.
really who knows what's in store for that program now. If they're in every series, right? They're NASCAR,
Mhm.
they're this, they're that, they're late models, of this and everything. They got everything. They got
Yeah.
stuff and everything. They're dipping their toes, and it's good to see. And who knows? They might field two cars next year. Who knows?
Yeah, it's good to see play I guess a motorsports team like Spire that is dipping into all the different series and different styles of racing, it's just gets more people into it and
Yep.
bring and crosses like that crossover between the asphalt and the dirt. It's good to see those people get interested in each other's discipline of racing.
Mhm.
Um Yeah, I think Gio and the team there at Spire are gonna do good things, and I think they're gonna get lots of wins. It might take a little bit of time to get it figured out,
Yep.
but I think the 77 will be up front. And it's nice to see a big, I mean, not that there's other corporate sponsors, but a big, I guess, restaurant corporate sponsor like Chili's come on and sponsor a dirt team like this. Like, I know they committed obviously through Spire for NASCAR and stuff like that, but for
Yeah,
them to
and
say
Hocevar ran it with the
with the
when
late model.
in the dome there.
Oh, yeah,
This
yeah, yeah.
last winter he ran that,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of cool. Who knows? You could have Spire guys that just the fans that are of Hocevar that could say, "Oh, 77 Chili's car. I wonder if that's Carson. Oh, boom, it's Gio
Yeah,
Celsi." And who knows? It
yeah,
could make more fans that way too, right? But
yeah,
yeah, it's really cool, man. It's cool.
yeah.
Love
So,
the look of that
sitting
car. Really sharp. I gotta
yeah,
buy a
the
T-shirt.
yeah, it does look sure. Um, so sitting in fourth or fifth, sorry, is the guy that Gio replaced after his injury last season. So Tyler Courtney Sunshine's coming back this season, back from injury. Is still running just as good as he was before, I believe. Obviously they haven't got a win yet, but or sorry, they did get 2 wins in the 360 in Florida,
Yep.
but as far as 410, no win on high limit tour at this point. But it's good to see Tyler back. I think obviously he's a strong contender for the championship. I think you can never count him out, no matter what you
Yeah,
do.
for sure.
So
For sure.
but yeah, it's just good to see these guys that had some injuries last season get back behind the wheel.
Especially that now that sweets out of the seat of that of his car, right? It kind of opens the doors
Hmm.
for some new faces to kind of push for a championship, right? Which is good to see. And but whenever Sweet gets in a ride in that Silva car, he's probably going to win. So
Yeah.
it's good to see that he can still wheel it no matter what he drives.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and speaking of Brad, obviously his replacement, Dazen Persley, uh, goes over to Casey Kane Racing. We've had Dazen on the show. We've also had Casey on the show. Um, Talked to both guys. Great, both great guys. Um, and it seems like the plan here with Casey and Dazen is Casey's gonna let him ride it out, figure it out, give him the years to be able to mold himself to become a top tier national sprint car driver. Um, I think I think it's a couple years before you see these guys really like be hot all the time. I think they're gonna get some wins between now and then. 100% he's gonna get a win between now and then. There's no doubt about it. But it's gonna take some time and gonna take some equipment. You know, Dazen likes to drive hard and fast. So it can sometimes bite you in the ass.
Yeah,
Sometimes it can make you the winner. So yeah, I think they're gonna be good. Just it's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve.
for sure. The consistency, sorry, with him is the big one.
Yeah.
So I think he ran one night, ran good, I think top five down in Florida with the Outlaws, and then I think maybe top 20
Yeah, I
for a
think
couple other
yeah.
nights. So it's kind of hit and miss with him, but it's good that hopefully Casey gives him the leash to kind of figure it out, and they can kind of
Yeah.
build the program with them as Dazen's still a young driver himself. So
Yeah.
who knows what this, who knows? He could maybe rip off the next 5 wins in a row. Who knows what could happen? That's the kind of thing. It's anybody's ball game right now, but
Hmm.
it'll be interesting to see because there's a lot of good drivers on that list right there. And it's really anybody's championship at this point. Like there's not really a
No, yeah.
super huge heavyweight favorite. Maybe Rico, um, but other than that, it's kind of an open season, man. It's exciting.
Yeah, for sure. It is so early in the year as well right now. You know, we're just making speculations on what we think our opinions on what we think is gonna
No,
happen.
our opinions are
Obviously,
right. We know what we're talking
yeah.
about. We're the really
Yeah,
smart guys
exactly.
here. Come on.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. But like I said before, you know, if you have an opinion, you're watching this podcast, you have an opinion on what you think we're fucking stupid, and you know exactly what's gonna happen. Leave a comment. We love to read
Absolutely,
comments.
absolutely, for sure,
Love to engage with people, talk about things, you know. So
for sure.
that's what gets that. It's when you stop talking about things or talking about things in the sport or whatever. It's when it dies. So
Yep,
it's always good to have opinions. Always good to have discussions. So and we're always open to discussing dirt racing and things that are going on. And yeah, it's exciting, obviously, Shawn, to have you on the podcast now. You know, we've been good buddies for a couple years now, so it's good to just talk dirt racing again and
for sure, man.
talk
So I'm
about all this
excited.
stuff.
I'm
Yeah,
excited to do this. It's be really good. This has been
yeah,
awesome so far, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the summer holds.
oh yeah.
And who knows, we could be a couple years down the road. Who knows where this podcast is, right?
You never know. You never know. I say, like I said before, you know, when I sent you that message saying, I think I'm gonna start a Dirt Beers Instagram. You know, I never thought it would get to where it is now. We're almost to 6,500 followers. Like, have a podcast, been able to interview all these different drivers and people, and get the access to this stuff. It never crossed my mind that this would
For
happen. But
sure, man. It's good to see. It just
yeah,
went from just an Instagram message. We're kind of talking back and
yeah,
forth a little bit about it, and I'm like, yeah, man, let's
yeah,
yeah, I'm in. I'm
do
in.
it.
I'm in. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. And
Yeah,
then you start the podcast stuff, and I
yeah,
watch the podcasts, and then like you asked me if I want to do it, and I showed the message to my guys, some buddies at work, and they're like, oh yeah, let's do it, let's do it. Can't wait to watch it.
yeah.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to have you on the show, and you know, I don't want anybody to think that we're not gonna keep like we're gonna do the me and you episodes probably a me and you episode once a month, and then we're gonna try and do an interview once a month. So after you see this episode, I'm gonna be trying to line up an interview with somebody. So it could be anybody, you know, could be Tanner Thorson, could be anybody. I
Who
don't know yet,
knows? Yeah.
but we're gonna put the feelers out there and see what we can get. But yeah, what else do we have on the notes? I guess prediction. Do you want to? Actually, no. Okay, well, let's talk about this Apple video. This is what I want to talk about. So I know everybody's probably seen this already, but you know, it just you can't not. We can't not talk about it because it's just so weird. And
Goofy,
like
man. It's just
I no disrespect to David, but so I'll set it up. If anybody hasn't seen this yet, Rico is at the draw at the high limit race, gets on the mic with Tony Laporta and says, "An apple a day keeps the outlaws away." So then David decides to make this little video. So we'll play it here.
Yeah, apple a day keeps the outlaws away. Yeah.
So I don't know about you, Shawn, but I've never eaten an apple that way ever once in my life.
no. It's I don't. You just turn it like you eat it the other way. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I don't. It like just the way he's holding it, the way he bites it. It's like I
just
don't.
doing it backwards. Doing it backwards. That's just
Yeah,
the only
let's.
way you can.
Yeah, I
Only way you
don't.
can look at it. But
I don't know how he
it's
thought. Like he made the video and then thought, yeah, that looks normal. Like
Apple a day keeps the outlaws away.
who eats an apple like that?
a
I don't
nice
know.
backyard though. I like the
Yeah.
backyard. It's
Apple
really
a
nice.
day keeps the outlaws away.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a buzz when that video came out. People were like, what is going on here?
That's the thing. I
But
think he's tries to like engage with that. Make kind
which
of. I think
is
he's trying to make like a little bit of a rival, which is kind of it's cool
yeah,
and it's funny, but it almost seems like it's just Rico just being funny, man. I don't think he's
yeah.
got a mean bone in his body. He just
Oh
likes
yeah.
to make everybody laugh, and but Gravel's just being. I don't know. I guess you could say he's just being Gravel, man. That's just David being David.
Yeah.
It's funny. Both sides of it's funny. Like I look at he eats the apple like that. It's funny to me, but he also like,
Yeah.
hey, kind of claps back to Rico's things. So who knows what's
Yeah.
in store when they come together at the track. I know Gravel and Larson didn't have the greatest night together the one night there. I can't remember what track that was at, but they were
Eldora.
going back and forth. Eldora, that's what it was. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they weren't too big of fans of each other. So who knows?
He was actually so everybody knows the Chaz, obviously. Chaz is a great guy. Love watching his show. He loves to stir the pot. And I was listening, he had Cody Jacobs on Gravel's crew chief the other day. And I guess it was Kyle was more upset with what Chaz and Cody had to say about him. And that's why he went after David, I guess, which is wild that it's the crew chief and an internet personality that's making you go after somebody in a race car.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just it's the stuff like that. I love when Chaz stirs the pot on this stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's just hilarious. But I love to see this kind of stuff, you know. Obviously any publicity is good publicity. So these guys making these videos, posting them, poking fun at each other between the two series, you know, it is what it is. No, I don't think there's any real bad blood between too many people, but
No, I don't think so. No.
it's just fun to see.
No, for sure. It just gets you. It gets clicks, right? It gets you looking. Oh, Gravel made a video. Maybe you're only an outlaw guy, and you even
Yeah.
maybe all you do is you watch David Gravel, and you don't even know who Rico Abreu is, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, who's this guy talking about the outlaws like that? And all of a sudden, then it brings you to the high limit, and who knows? Maybe it makes you a Rico fan too.
Yeah.
Who knows? But that's funny to me, man. Rico's great. That would be. I would love to get Rico on this. This would be really cool. Rico would be good.
Eventually we interviewed his crew guy Brady Forbrook a while ago, and he was an awesome guy too. So maybe we can get in the door and get Rico on the show one day. But yeah. So like I said, we're gonna try and do these, you know, twice a month. Just the boys podcast and then an interview. We'll try and make them about an hour every time. But yeah, I'm happy to be back. Happy to have you, Shawn, joining me as my new co-host, and I'm excited to see where we can take it.
Absolutely, man. I'm honored to be on here. I really appreciate you having me on, man. I'm excited to see what we can do here with this.
Yeah. So as of before, we used to always plug. You can follow us on at dirt.beers on Instagram. You can follow me at _beef on Instagram. Shawn, you want to plug your Instagram again?
Yeah, at Shawn Winger 24 on the gram. So
you
send me a
can
follow.
follow us. Yeah, you can follow us there. If you got something you want to talk to us about, put it in the comments. If you have any ideas for us on segments or anything you want to see us talk about on the show, leave it in the comments. So like on the show before, if you have a business and you want to sponsor us, we just do this for fun. But if you want to sponsor, get some a little bit of exposure out there for your business, we can put your logo on the screen. We will have clips on the Instagram of us, funny conversations, stuff like that with your logo. Have an ad read for you at the beginning of episodes, stuff like that. Just reach out to either
I'll
one
even
of
wear
us.
your T-shirt.
Yeah, you want to send us T-shirts, hats? We'll wear them. We'll advertise anything. But yeah, if you're looking for that, just get in contact with us. But Shawn, I think it's been a good first episode, and excited to get at it and see what we can do.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited to do it. When we get on the road this summer and get some interviews and live and stuff like that, it'll be really good. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Excited for the next one.
Yep, for sure. It's been another episode of the Dirt Beers podcast, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.